Also, Bruce explicitly discusses the possibility that tonal targets may be undershot in an HLH sequence. For example, where the targets are very close together. On the whole, however, identifying tones with turning points put severe limits on the range of possible phonological interpretation of given contours. This concrete conception of tones as a turning point is implicitly abandoned by Pierre Humbert. In her approach, as we have seen, tones need not always correspond to turning point. And turning point need not always reflect the phonetic realization of a tone. We saw an example of the latter case in the section 3.13.3. The low turning point between two H stir accent is not taken to reflect an L tone of any sort, but instead is accounted for by phonetically modeling the H stir as a local pitch rather than merely a peak, with a saging transition between the two accents. In the same section, we also saw examples of the converse case, where posited tunes do not correspond to turning points. For example, the L in an H-star L accent is never realized as a low target or turning point, but serves only to trigger downstep on the next H tone. The L star is an H plus L star accent, probably represents a target, but never a low turning point. It is an accentual target lower than the immediately preceding context, but scaled at the level of a downstepped H tone. Similarly, the L percent in Pierre Humbert's analysis of English stylized contours does not represent a final low target, but only the absence of a further rise following the H phrase accent. A priori, there is no reason to reject Pierre Humbert's approach or to prefer Bruce. It is abundantly clear from the tonal phonology of many African languages that we must allow for the possibility that tones in the underlying phonological string may not be realized phonetically as distinct F0 targets. The clearest case is, as in Pierre Humbert's analysis of English, involve downstep. In many languages, the L in an H-L-H sequence may have no independent realization as a turning point, but may be manifested only in lowering of the second H relative to the first. 年代ね。Other cases are less clear, but still definitely involves a more complex relation between tones and targets. For example, Ranian shows that in Yoruba, the sequence is L, H, 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 and H, L, L, L are not realized with abrupt steps from L to the first H, or H to first L, but rather involve a gradual transition from L to the third H and from H to the third L, almost as if the intervening syllables are tonally unspecified. There is much we do not understand about the relationship between phonological tone and the physical target, but it is clear that the simple question tone turning point is too restrictive to serve the universally valid principle of tonal realization. At the same time, in dealing with languages without lexical tone, there are reasons not to produce too enthusiastically to paged tones that are realized in indirect ways. For one thing, by abandoning both the simple equation, we throw away a powerful empirical check on our theorizing. In languages with lexical tone, we often have independent evidence for postulates tones that do not surface as target points, because we can observe alternations in the shape of individual morphemes and words in different phonological contexts. In languages with only post-lexical or intonational usage of a tone, we have no such ready way of constraining our description. A clear illustration of the problem of abandoning the identification of tone and turning point is provided by an early proposal of mine, around 1983, for a delayed peak feature. I suggested that both the alignment analysis of the Swedish accent 1, accent 2, distinction could be extended to describe intonational distinctions in other languages in the context of an AM tonal analysis. Hmm.